Turn right onto Air Commerce Drive toward cell phone waiting lot.
Shout out to Mama, my inspiration for the stew chicken dish.
What's up, everybody? South Carolina, North Carolina, the Carolinas, and worldwide. Thank you for tuning in to my video and joining me in my Carolina kitchen. Tonight, I will be cooking up some southern stewed
barnyard pimp.
Tonight's meal, stewed chicken with potatoes, Italian green beans with smoked turkey necks, and basmati rice. To keep it simple, stewed chicken. Everything else is just extra. Now, before we get any further, let me go and get this out of my system. If you know the song, sing along.
It's the Carolinas. Cooking is my specialty. Getting dirty in the kitchen like ODB. Turning these groceries into delicacies. The Carolina cook got the recipe. The Carolina cook got the recipe. The Carolina cook got the recipes.
Okay, y'all, let's see how I did it.
First things first, man. We're gonna get this broth started. So what I'm gonna do to flavor my beans is cook them in a chicken broth with some smoked turkey necks. Normally and traditionally, I would cook my beans with a lot of meat in them, like I do my greens and cabbage and all of that. But in this case tonight, since it's like a quick supper, I'm not gonna wait for no meat to fall off of the bones. I'm just gonna use this turkey neck to flavor the beans, you know, because both ways are Southern traditions where you either let that meat fall off of the bones in your beans and your greens and things of that nature, or you just cook some smoked ham hocks or some fatback or something into your pot to give it flavor. Either way is an acceptable Southern traditional way. To get started on the chicken, I'm going to first start boiling some broth. Okay, here I got my clean and patted dry chicken thighs, and I'm going to rub these thighs with some oil. Rub these thighs with oil, then add them to a oiled cast iron skillet, and I'm going to sear them skin side down before adding them to the broth for the stew. Now, I don't think my mom ever did it this way, but I'm going to apply some culinary skills to this, because if I pan sear it first, it's going to bring out the flavor and it's going to speed up the cooking process. So there's two benefits to doing this. It's going to enhance the flavor and the texture, and it's going to speed up the cooking process. You can add some seasonings to the chicken now if you want to, but I'm not, because my stew is going to carry the weight. Okay, I'm a julienne cut one small onion and add to this broth. Some people use celery, onions, green peppers, and all of that, but all I'm doing is onions. I'm sticking to the way my mom used to do it on that part. Okay, so you see what that pan sear did to the skin? It made a big difference. Now I'm going to put that skin side up in the stew. See, the reason I fell out of love with stewed chicken when I was growing up was because people didn't take this extra step right here to make the skin edible. So the skin, I just didn't like the texture of it. But like I said, some people just throw their chicken in the pot. But when you do that, the skin just becomes, I don't like it. It's just, I need that crisp on there. So this really like my first time preparing stewed chicken in a long time or eating it. And shows my mom, she used to make me a whole separate meal when I fell out of love with stewed chicken. When she would cook it, she'll cook me something different. She would either fry it or smother it or something like that for me. That's love, ain't it? She wasn't always like that, though. In our younger years, she'd be like, well, if you don't eat what I cook, you just don't eat. Or you had to sit your butt at that table and eat everything on that plate before you could leave that table. Be sure to continue to add liquid
And
to
as
your
you
pots,
can see, we're gonna have some fat
because some reduction will take place. And the chicken gonna release fat, so you gotta skim the fat off of it as well when it comes to the surface of your stew. All right, y'all, I'm gonna bring this barnyard pimp down to a simmer and go ahead and start adding my seasonings. All right, y'all can season y'all pot any way y'all see fit. At this point, I don't really know what I'm gonna season it with, so I'm gonna just use what I have on deck. Yeah, I gotta beat the seasoning. It done turned to a cake on me. What y'all know about that? I'm gonna start with half a teaspoon measurement on everything. Half teaspoon of onion powder. Half teaspoon of garlic powder. Sprinkle a couple pinches of black pepper on there. Black pepper really carries the dish when it comes to stewed chicken. Couple pinches of salt. Yo, that's smelling good already. Half teaspoon chicken bouillon powder. Half teaspoon paprika. Just to add a little color to it. All right, pay attention. I'm going from half teaspoon to a quarter teaspoon there. Quarter teaspoon of cumin. Half teaspoon of thyme. AM or PM. Whatever time you use is on you. I'm using PM because it's pretty late right now. All right, pay attention. I'm back to a quarter teaspoon. Quarter teaspoon of turmeric. And I'm going to use some of this heck, since I got it on deck, the Saison Body Tropical Seasoning. It's ideal for yellow rice stews and soups. So what we cooking? Stew, right? Half teaspoon of that. And I'm gonna add a tiny amount of cloves to that. A little under a quarter teaspoon. Is that about a tablespoon of minced garlic? You can do this before adding your chicken. Give that a stir around in there. And as you can see, that color has already changed. Because now we got some flavors in that pot. Now when it's just about where I want it to be, I'm going to add some cornstarch to thicken the gravy, and I'm going to add some potatoes. All right, y'all can use flour or whatever you want to use as a thickener, but I'm using cornstarch. And the only reason I'm using cornstarch is because my flour situation didn't work out. So, hey, it is what it is. Luckily, I had some cornstarch on deck. Now, I'm going to use about a tablespoon of cornstarch. You want to stir it up in water before you put it in the stew, because if you put it in there dry, it's going to clump up on you. And then you're going to have to be working those clumps out or waiting for those clumps to cook out, if it does. And as you can see, it's already starting to thicken. Now, it's on you how thick you want your gravy to be. Y'all see how good those thighs look? Bubbling in that gravy jacuzzi. But at this point, y'all, we almost home with it. Now, so potatoes is just something I'm add my potatoes. Normal thing. You don't want to add your potatoes too soon, because you don't want them to get too soft where they're crumbling up on you. Now, y'all, I wasn't just giving my attention totally to the thighs. I had my eyes on these necks too now. Now, with that being said, I've had these necks cooking till they like almost tender, and that flavor has infused into the broth. So now I'm going to add my beans. The reason I didn't cook it together with the beans was because the beans would overcook and turn to mush. The flavor in these beans are going to pack a big punch, because smoked meat brings the flavor to another level. For this small amount of bean, I'll start off with a quarter teaspoon of each seasoning. Garlic, chicken bouillon, teaspoon of minced garlic, paprika. Remember, everything quarter tablespoon. Everything's quarter teaspoon. Everything's quarter teaspoon except the minced garlic. Sprinkle with a little black pepper. And that's it. I'll just let it work its magic. All right. As you can see, these beans are beyond ready. So I don't want them to turn to mush. I'm going to go ahead and turn the heat off on that. And we're getting ready to present us a plate. Chicken is done as well, by the way. Had to wait on that steam to clear, boy. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and present us a plate.
And there you have it, folks. My presented plate. Italian green beans with smoked turkey necks. Deep country stewed
Deep
chicken
country is what my drill sergeant used to call me in basic training.
with potatoes off in it.
Potatoes.
And some basmati rice.
Now, I know we say grace before we eat, but there's one thing that we forget to do or tend not to do before we eat, and that is take some pictures of the food. Work it, work that thigh. Give me some thigh. Put that thigh next to that rice. Put that thigh next to them beans. There you go. Lay that thigh on the potatoes.
All right, I got that plastic. Not talking about no credit card.
I'm here to eat you, not pay you.
We gonna give this a taste. This is the stuff I grew up on, man. Stewed chicken. Them beans come out busting, boy. I'm telling you, it make a difference when you put smoked meat in your beans. I'm telling you, man, it's a game changer. Now let's get dirty. Let's get dirty in the kitchen like old DB. With this chicken, I gotta get my hands on this.
Okay, at this point, y'all can leave.
See that plastic, boy, that plastic come with salt and pepper. You ain't gonna need none of that with this head on. You're not gonna need that with this, boy. I'm telling you, boy, this thing got some flavor, boy. This thing got more flavor than Craig Mack, boy, I'm telling you. But yeah, that plastic come with a napkin, boy. Come with a napkin. Woo, boy, that's good. Just remember, if you're not happy, you just might not be eating good. You see how happy this plate just made me, man?
Clap along if you feel like stewed chicken is the truth.
Liketh, shareth thou the love, and subscribeth unto my channel, and smiteth that notification button. Thank ya.